We want to take you from the humanitarian crisis happening in Eastern Europe, right there at the border, as you saw. That's a direct result of the war in Ukraine, to the crisis at our own southern border, which is the direct result of bad Biden policy. Don't forget, we didn't have this crisis 16 months ago under Donald Trump. For more, let's bring in border correspondent Jaeson Jones. Jaeson, good morning.
Well, good morning. It's good to be with you this morning.
Yeah, great to have you back on. I feel like our own border has now become the forgotten border even more. What is the latest where you are?
Well, the sad situation here is, we continue to have overdose deaths directly linked to this unsecure border happening across the country. Last Thursday, 6 cadets from West Point traveling to Miami to enjoy a weekend away overdosed on cocaine laced with fentanyl. Two other individuals who began trying to give them CPR were also impacted. Total of 6 overdose deaths. Now, here's the thing. This is all a part of a much bigger problem that you've been hearing me talk about day after day, linked to this unsecure border, because what's happening is this fentanyl is crossing this southwest border, going throughout the country, directly linked to Cartel Jalisco New Generation, who's pushing that across the Texas border, and then Sinaloa Cartel from New Mexico, Arizona, and California. And it is flooding this country right now at unprecedented levels.
An Army football player, by the way, overdosed as well on fentanyl. It's so tragic. We're looking at more than 100,000 overdose deaths. We're on pace for more than we saw. We set a record in 2021. The Wall Street Journal just did some polling that came out over the weekend, Jaeson. The biggest issues to voters heading into the midterms 239 days from right now. Number one, inflation. Understandably, the price of gas and the price to heat your house. And after that, it was the war in Ukraine. COVID didn't make the list. COVID was way down the list. But also not on that list was drugs and the amount of drugs that are coming across our border each and every day from the southern border. What do we need to do to get the message out to the American people that this is a huge, huge problem?
Yeah, I think that's the real issue. We're not making the linkage to this unsecure border and the impact of the cartels and then those chemical precursors coming from China, coming from India, Bangladesh, and also Pakistan. The cartels really are the hub of this. And so you got to say, well, why does America not know about it? A lot of it has to do with the way we capture index crimes in this country. The FBI has a failed system known as the Uniform Crime Report, literally created in 1934, and it doesn't capture these transnational crimes. But what people do feel is they feel the effects in different ways. So if you're in the north, you feel the border impact in overdoses. If you're in the south, you feel it more in the realm of human trafficking and human smuggling. But you've got to be able to see the data to understand it. The other thing to this, we've got to create a sense of urgency here, and I truly mean this. The prevention and treatment model being conducted by the Office of National Drug Control Policy is an absolute failure, not because we think it or feel it. The data shows it when you were sitting at 104,000 overdose deaths in a 12-month period. And if you go back to a guy that's old like me, and, from the 1980s, we remember different things that we had out there, Just Say No campaign. If I asked you right now, what is the national campaign for the drug problem we're having in this country?
I would tell you just say no.
Most Americans. Yeah, because we have not updated to where we're.
Yeah, Nancy Reagan, 30 years old. Yeah, that's what I would tell you. Jaeson,
exactly.
Just about 30 seconds left. Are we seeing any improvements? It's it's the middle of March now, St. Patrick's Day at the end of this week, meaning it gets a lot warmer real fast down there, and that means the number of illegal immigrants crossing the border is only going to go up. Is it getting any better?
No. We broke the story for the February numbers, preliminary numbers that haven't been posted officially yet from CBP. We're looking at 163,000 apprehensions last month. And I'm talking to the guys daily, Rob, just so you know, they're getting hammered down there on the border right now. I'm expecting a massive jump for the month of March.
That's more than we saw February a year ago, isn't it?
Oh, by far. Yeah, absolutely. We were sitting in February last year, by the way, in the worst border crisis in American history. February of 21, 101,000.
Wow. And that was Joe Biden had only been in office for a month at that point. Unbelievable. Jaeson Jones, thank you so much for the update and breaking that news. We appreciate it. Look forward to having you back on soon.